Phoenix race review.
Yep.
Well, beginning of the race was a 5.
Beginning of the race was a 5. About
yes.
Last week.
It started off the same way as Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Caution free, stage 1. Then it slowly started a repeat in stage 2 with the caution laps at the beginning for the stage break. Then that long green flag run again, except it was 125 laps in stage 2. Hendrick Motorsports slammed the wall hard enough that it completely broke the aluminum wheel off
the car.
And first time ever that a broadcaster could actually hear the tire exploded.
Yeah.
It was like,
and we know 2 crew
that's
members.
Interesting.
We know 2 crew members on Hendrick Motorsports' pit crew is getting a little vacation for 4 weeks.
Yes. It was basically Hendrick all over again with Larson and Byron. Bowman was creeping in there.
And we kind of expect Larson, Bowman, and Byron to kind of shoulder Hendrick Motorsports until Chase Elliott gets better and back in the car.
But Alan Gustafson did tell media that Chase is with the team. He's on through the radio to help his pit crew get where Josh Berry needs the car to be at while he's watching the race back home in Colorado. So, it looked like, I would say the good part of stage 3. Stage 3 was blowing out well up until green flag pit stops came along. Man, that got interesting.
With those last
Harvick short pitted and managed to stay glued to Lawson's rear end. Wasn't even a long run for Harvick. It was like 20 laps, and he got around.
And finally got around Larson. After, throughout majority of the race, it would take him 30, 35 laps to start, getting fast.
So then, right with 10 to go, Harrison Burton nails the wall, spins. And I saw that from Bowman's rear onboard camera before the Fox broadcast even got up to it. So that gave Bowman extra life to have a 4th straight top 10 finish. So, and I want to say the big thing at the end was the last pit stop in the overtime. It looks like Bowman wasn't getting from Chastain coming out 2, but then Allmendinger, Gregson, and Ty Gibbs end up wrecking on the exit of 2, forced the overtime. The thing that Lost did not wanted.
Yes, was the overtime.
Yes.
And they only took 2 tires there, so we saw absolutely crazy finish. We saw a lot of those guys behind the 2-tire drivers, I'll call them, kind of soar up, kind of through their field with the 4 fresh tires.
Yes.
2 tires of William Byron still won out at the end of the day, but
with the top 10 finishing results. William Byron goes back to back. Brian Blaney second. Reddick in third. Reddick's first good race of the season comes here at Phoenix. Lawson finished fourth after the
domination of this weekend.
Yeah. It's like, he was going to be one lap short of leading 200 laps, but that overtime pushed him to lead 202 laps.
Yep.
But William Byron had that run out on that outside line. So, Harvick in 5th, Bell in 6th, Briscoe in 7th, Kyle Busch in 8th, Alex Bowman in 9th, and Chase Elliott's fill-in driver, Josh Berry, after a bad race at Vegas, because we could just give Josh Berry a break for Vegas. He never had the experience in the next-gen car, hasn't had to deal with a sequential gear shift with 5 gears, and he did have a throttle hang. Plus the seat that was installed was meant for Chase.
Was meant for Chase, yeah.
And the crew just did not want to spend time to just take Chase's seat out and just mold a new seat and install that for Josh Berry. So, but now we could say Josh Berry can finally put a top 10 result on his Cup resume.
Listen.
So, but the biggest thing is Hamlin finally got his revenge on Ross Chastain.
Yeah.
And that was a big hit for Chastain in points today. Because there has been a points lead change.
Yes. Alex Bowman has taken the points lead from Ross Chastain. Going into today's race, Bowman was 3 points
out
behind Chastain, and now Bowman finds himself now 6 points ahead. Of Ross Chastain there after the little incident with Denny Hamlin on the last lap. The 24th, 24th place finish.
Only a total of 13 points, and that's 6 stage points. Yeah, those 6 stage points did not play a factor for Chastain.
No, they did not. I think today's Phoenix race. It was exciting there towards the end, and I'm glad we did have the exciting finish. I think a good winner today. I believe so. Even if William Byron did win only a stage and maybe wasn't as dominant as he was last week.
Still, and he added another 64 laps to his season already. First race, Bowen did not lead a lap.
No.
Bowen led laps in the first 3 races. 11 at Daytona, 16 and 17 at Auto Club early, and only 2 at Vegas and none today. So, it looked like Lawson was going to win this race. But if that caution did not come out on what would have been the last restart, he would have won. This didn't fall in his favor, but Hendrick goes back to back.
Hendrick goes back to back.
4 wins for Chevy. I'm gonna put for all fellow NASCAR YouTubers that's out there that looks into the odds for drivers. So I wouldn't really focus on drivers' performance at the track right now. I'm gonna say that is a key point to do, is see how they do at at other tracks for average finishing results, but when it also comes into drivers with like a streak going on, I would definitely would say they need to focus on Alex Bowman with these top 10 finishes.
For sure.
Because just don't look. You could look at average results for the drivers, yes. But you also need to look at what the current storyline is. Like with Bowman, with 4 straight top 10s. And odds is also a big thing. It's like just because the odds are higher for the driver that is currently doing that's on a hot streak, I would still at least mention them at some point and focus on them too. So that's what I'm just saying. Those people that's saying that don't have Bowman in your fantasy lineup or just don't pay attention to Bowman, you need to focus on the Vegas odds and average finishing results. Just because Bowman, some drivers are dealing with new crew chiefs will push them to go into a better direction. Blake Harris has done that in his first 4 races with Bowman and at Hendrick Motorsports. So, just a note to those big NASCAR YouTubers that's getting access to be at the track to get big storylines. So
Right.
I would rate this race. I'm putting it at 7.5 to an 8 because I did say the stage 1, it put me down at 5. It was boring, not much of like passing opportunities. In that it was clearly a Hendrick domination in stage 1 again anyway. So, but
I think
from stage 2 up, it increased it. The racing got more intense, a lot more battles. So,
I would also kind of put this race at about a 7.5 to an 8 out of 10. For a lot of the same reasons. I mean, there really wasn't a whole lot of passing or a whole lot of battles going on for really the first like 2/3 of the race, really.
yeah.
And I was thinking, give it like a 5, just like Vegas last week. But I'm definitely with the finish. We had a good winner. Hendrick is still dominating. Chevy's still dominating. I definitely give it like a 7.5 to an 8 out of 10 for sure.
Yeah. So the next race is in Atlanta, but knowing the Fox broadcasters and Mike Joy, they like to call Atlanta Hot Atlanta, even though Atlanta is now a super speedway. That's a great opportunity for Bowman to continue this top 10 streak. Because I'm pretty sure now Alex Bowman is now the only driver that has finished in the top 10 in the first 4 races since Daniel Suarez kind of fell out of it. So, picks. I was gonna have Chase be one of my picks, but he's not racing. I'm gonna go with I'll put Harvick as a primary. I think he will show up. I would probably put Bone in as a backup because I'm gonna stay along with this top 10 streak he's on. And I'm not really worried about odds or average finishes because basically average finishes end up changing ever since Atlanta got reconfigured to a super speedway.
Right.
So, and honorary, I'm like between with two drivers for the honorary spot. I'm between Kyle Busch and maybe Logano and Blaney, but I'm leaning more Kyle Busch.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, as of right now, Harvick is my primary, Bone my backup, and Kyle Busch as my honorary, but still a high chance of Chevy going 5 straight, while Ford and Toyota is basically still on the hunt on these Chevys. Ford did show speed this weekend. Maybe they can transfer it over.
Yeah, maybe.
Plus, maybe Tyler Reddick can continue a good run after a top 3 finish today after a rough first 3 weeks.
Yeah. I think for my Atlanta picks, it's hard to bet against William Byron with the way he's been running. He won the last Atlanta spring race, so I think I'm going to pick William Byron for my primary pick. And I think I'm feeling a little bit dark horsey this coming week. So I want to put Ryan Blaney as a backup pick for reasons unknown or unclear to me so far. But I also want to pick Ricky Stenhouse Jr. as an honorary pick. He won the last restrictor plate track, and the new Atlanta races a lot like a restrictor plate. At this point,
even though the next gen course does not have
restrictor plates.
And I actually just realized my backup pick for today's race was Byron.
It was Byron, indeed.
Because we both had
both had really good picks. We both on Larson.
We both had Lawson as our primary pick. I had Byron while you had Harvick as a backup. And we both had Bone as an honorary. Bone did show up late to secure that 4th straight top 10. Byron snuck up at the end to give me that clarity of getting a pick right as a backup. So, we will do the next race review from Hotlanta, not physically in Atlanta, but after the Atlanta race next week. See ya, guys.
Later.